Paramount Studios, Executive Building, March 15th, 1962, 3:45 p.m. Kirk Douglas stands in the doorway of Harold Robbins' corner office, watching the most powerful studio executive in Hollywood raise his hand above a trembling 24-year-old screenwriter. The slap echoes through the room like a gunshot. The young writer's head snaps to the side. A red handprint blooms across his cheek. Blood trickles from his lip. "That's what happens when you refuse to follow orders," Robbins snarls. Kirk's hands ball into fists. His jaw clenches. The famous Douglas dimple becomes a weapon. What he does in the next 30 seconds doesn't just end Harold Robbins' 20-year reign of terror. It teaches Hollywood what happens when power meets principle. But first, you need to understand what Kirk Douglas is about to destroy. Hollywood, 1962. Studio executives aren't just businessmen, they're emperors. Harold Robbins has ruled Paramount for 2 decades, built his empire on fear, intimidation, and absolute control over every word written, every scene filmed, every career made or destroyed. Robbins doesn't just run a studio, he owns souls, writers, directors, actors. They all dance to his tune or find themselves blacklisted, broke, forgotten. His method is simple: humiliation, public beatings, physical and psychological warfare designed to break spirits and ensure complete submission. It's worked for 20 years, created hits, built fortunes, maintained order through terror. The young screenwriter bleeding in his office just learned why nobody says no to Harold Robbins. Kirk Douglas is about to teach Robbins why that's about to change. 2 hours earlier. Conference Room B, Paramount Studios. Kirk sits at a mahogany table with Harold Robbins and young screenwriter Tommy Martinez. The walls are covered with movie posters, all Robbins' successes, all proof of his power. Robbins slides a script across the table. Spartacus, Rise of Rome. The sequel everyone's been waiting for. Tommy Martinez, 24 years old, fresh out of UCLA Film School, bright-eyed and idealistic. This is his first studio job, his big break, his chance to work with Kirk Douglas. "The script is perfect," Robbins says, his voice smooth, practiced. "Except for one thing." Kirk scans the pages. "It's good. Better than good. Tommy has talent." "What needs changing?" Kirk asks. Robbins pulls out a red pen, circles several pages. "The Roman senators, too sympathetic. We need them more realistic." Tommy shifts in his seat. Something in Robbins' tone makes him nervous. "Realistic how?" Robbins' smile is cold. "They were racists, weren't they? Thought they were superior to everyone else? Let's show that." Kirk's expression doesn't change, but something shifts in his eyes. Tommy finds his voice. "You want me to add racist dialogue? I want you to add historical accuracy. But that's not what Spartacus was about. It was about fighting oppression, not reinforcing it." Robbins leans back. His smile disappears. "Son, I've been making movies since before you were born. I know what audiences want. They want clear villains, evil Romans who deserve what they get." Tommy's voice gets smaller. I don't think that's right." "You don't think?" Robbins' voice gets dangerous. "You're a writer, Martinez. You write what I tell you to write." Kirk watches this exchange, sees the young man's principles colliding with Hollywood reality. Tommy takes a breath, finds courage he didn't know he had. "I won't write racist dialogue, Mr. Robbins. That goes against everything the original film stood for." The room goes silent, dead silent. Nobody says no to Harold Robbins. Robbins' face turns red. His hands clench. "Boy, you just made the biggest mistake of your very short career." 3:45 p.m., Robbins' corner office. Tommy stands in front of Robbins' desk like a defendant awaiting sentence. Kirk watches from the doorway, unseen. Robbins circles Tommy like a predator. You think you can embarrass me in front of Kirk Douglas? Think you can disrespect me in my own studio? Tommy's voice shakes. I have principles, sir. Principles? Robbins laughs. Principles don't pay rent, boy. Principles don't make movies. Principles are luxuries for people who don't need jobs. Robbins stops directly in front of Tommy, towers over him. You're going to rewrite those scenes. You're going to add every racist line I tell you to add, and you're going to thank me for the opportunity. Tommy's lip trembles, but his voice is steady. No, sir, I won't. That's when Harold Robbins snaps. His hand flies up. The slap echoes through the office like thunder. Tommy's head snaps to the side. Blood appears on his lip. That's what happens when you refuse to follow orders. Kirk Douglas has seen enough. What happens next takes 30 seconds. 30 seconds that destroy a 20-year career and change Hollywood forever. Kirk steps into the office. His voice is deadly quiet. Harold. Robbins spins around. His face goes from predatory confidence to instant fear. Kirk, the boy was being difficult. Kirk doesn't let him finish. In 2 quick steps, Kirk crosses the room. His hand shoots out, grabs Robbins by the throat, slams him against the wall. The impact rattles picture frames. Awards fall to the floor. Kirk's face is inches from Robbins. His voice is a whisper that carries more menace than shouting. You put your hands on a kid who's standing up for what's right? Robbins can barely breathe. Kirk, let go. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. Kirk's grip tightens. You're a coward who beats children when they won't help you spread hatred. Tommy stares in shock. The most powerful executive in Hollywood pressed against a wall, helpless. Please, Robbins gasps. My career. My reputation. Kirk's voice becomes ice cold. Your reputation just ended. Kirk releases Robbins. The executive drops to his knees, gasping. Kirk helps Tommy to his feet. You okay, son? Tommy nods, still in shock. Kirk turns back to Robbins, still kneeling on the floor. Tommy's script gets filmed exactly as he wrote it. No changes, no racist dialogue, no compromise. Robbins tries to stand. You can't. I run this studio. Not anymore. Kirk pulls out his phone, dials a number. Louis, it's Kirk. I need you to come to Harold Robbins' office. Now, bring security. 30 minutes later. Louis B. Mayer's emergency meeting. The most powerful men in Hollywood sit around a conference table. Mayer at the head. Robbins with a bruised throat. Kirk calm and certain. Mayer speaks first. Harold says you assaulted him. I stopped him from assaulting a child. The boy was insubordinate. The boy has integrity. Kirk's voice cuts through Robbins' excuse. Something this studio used to value. Mayer looks tired, old, like he's seen this too many times. What do you want, Kirk? Robbins gone. Tommy promoted to head writer. Spartacus sequel made without compromise. Robbins explodes. You can't fire me. I built this studio. 20 years of hits, of profits. Kirk stands up, faces the room full of executives. 20 years of terror, of broken writers, of good people forced to create garbage because they were afraid of being hit. He looks directly at Mayer. You want to keep making movies that matter? Movies that change hearts instead of poisoning them? Then choose. Silence. Complete silence. Mayer makes his decision. Harold, clean out your office. The aftermath is swift, brutal, complete. Harold Robbins is escorted from Paramount that same evening. 20 years of power, ending with a security guard watching him pack boxes. Word spreads through Hollywood like wildfire. Kirk Douglas physically defended a young writer against studio abuse. The old system of fear is cracking. Tommy Martinez becomes the youngest head writer in Paramount history. Spartacus, Rise of Rome, becomes a masterpiece. No racist dialogue, no compromise, just truth. Other studios start changing. Executives stop hitting writers. Stop demanding moral compromises. Stop ruling through terror. The fear-based system that built Hollywood begins to crumble. 10 years later, 1972, Tommy Martinez wins an Academy Award for Best Screenplay. In his acceptance speech, he says something that makes Kirk Douglas tear up in the audience. "This award doesn't belong to me. It belongs to a man who taught me that talent without courage is worthless. That standing up for what's right matters more than keeping your job. That sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is protect someone who can't protect themselves." He looks directly at Kirk. "Thank you for showing me that principles aren't luxuries. They're necessities." The audience erupts, standing ovation. But Kirk isn't looking at the crowd. He's looking at Tommy, the kid who refused to write hatred, the man who chose integrity over security, the writer who learned that sometimes saying no is the most powerful thing you can say. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting in spite of fear. Kirk Douglas lost a comfortable relationship with Paramount's power structure, lost the easy path to sequel deals, lost the protection of staying quiet when witnessing injustice. He gained something priceless: the knowledge that when a 24-year-old kid was getting beaten for having principles, Kirk chose to be the man who stepped in, chose 30 seconds of action over a lifetime of regret, chose protecting the defenseless over protecting himself. That's what real strength looks like. Not the ability to hurt people, the willingness to stop people from being hurt. Harold Robbins built his career on fear and intimidation. It took 30 seconds for Kirk Douglas to tear it all down and build something better from the ruins. Some systems deserve to be destroyed. Some bullies need to be stopped. And sometimes the most important fight you'll ever have lasts exactly 30 seconds. Who in your life is Tommy Martinez right now? Who's standing up for what's right and getting punished for it? And when you see injustice happening, do you walk away or do you step in? Because 30 seconds of courage can change someone's entire life. Kirk Douglas proved that in 1962. The lesson still matters today.